Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at two G.I. Joe Classified Series figures. We have 03 Destro and 04 Duke. Now right off the bat you may notice something's up with the box. Unfortunately Duke's box has seen better days. And I know what you're probably thinking, oh, did you get that from Amazon? No, this one was actually Hasbro Pulse. Everything I ordered came in a separate box as per usual with Hasbro Pulse. And I got 2 or 3 boxes at one time from FedEx. Other two were perfectly fine. This one was all smashed up. So luckily it looks like the figure inside is perfectly fine, but it was just odd to me that, one of the Hasbro Pulse boxes got completely smashed in. But anyway, packaging's pretty cool for these. Really love this picture here on the back. I think it's kind of funny how, at least for me, I was surprised about Wave 2, but if you look, it's all very clearly laid out. Baroness, Cobra Commander, the Red Ninja. We have Gung Ho here on the top. So, I mean, it was all here, and maybe everyone else realized it but me, or I just wasn't thinking too much about it. But yeah, I guess the surprises shouldn't have been that big a surprise, as they're all pictured here in the mural. But anyway, I like the vehicles. I wonder if that's a hint. I don't think so, honestly. I think if we do get vehicles for this line, they're going to be kind of the single. And I mean, I know Baroness is coming with a motorcycle, but that's what I mean. They're going to be single person, very small vehicles, like maybe the little, is it Trouble Bubble or something like that, the Cobra vehicle, stuff like that. Maybe the little helicopter could be cool. But I think you're going to see, if you see any vehicles, they're going to be definitely smaller one-man vehicles. Unless they do something crazy like HasLab. I mean, could you imagine a USS Flag scaled for these figures? It'd be incredible. I mean, it'd have to be like $1,000. It'd be ridiculous, but it would be amazing. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but imagine it. It could be crazy. Anyway, I like the art style, and I think it's kind of neat how each character kind of has a unique art style for this kind of like wrap around the side artwork here on these packages. It's kind of neat. There's something to be said for a unified art style, like with Power Rangers Lightning Collection. They have that unified art style, and that looks amazing as well. But there's some fun to be had here, I think. I was considering keeping these, but obviously I don't think I'm going to bother keeping the Duke one now. Maybe I'll keep the Destro one, just so I can have at least one picture of this mural on the back, because I really like that a lot. Very cool. Destro's got like a really close-up of his face going on there. And then you can see they are numbered, so if you did want to keep them, you could organize them sequentially, I should say. So yeah, packaging, not bad. I'm going to go ahead and get them out of here, and we'll take a closer look. Both of these figures are really, really cool. I've been a really big proponent of the original, like 3 3/4 inch Joes, especially during the 25th anniversary collection, just because I feel like at that size, it gives you a lot more options for vehicles, play sets, and that's what I love. That's what I'm all about. Nice, really cool play sets and vehicles that always would have been most exciting to me ever since I was a kid through to today. So that's why I usually tend to shy away from 6-inch figures, because to me they're just too big to get into that play pattern. But I gotta say, these are really nice. And I know I've reviewed the like super fancy Snake Eyes that came out a while ago with all the extra weapons and everything, and that was a really cool figure as well. And I was like, I'll just kind of cherry pick, 1 or 2 figures, favorite characters and things like that. And I think that's primarily what I'm still going to do. I will admit I have broken down, and I already ordered Scarlet and Roadblock, so they'll be reviewed at some point. And I'm going to really try, I always say this, but I'm going to really try not to go all out on these figures. But they're really nice. Like, I got to be honest. So we're taking a look at Duke here. Face sculpt I think looks really good. I don't really know who they're going for. I don't think it's patterned off anybody, but I'll be honest, I'm getting a little bit of Channing Tatum from the live action movies on these. At least for Duke here. And I mean, the detail looks great, the paint's great, the amount of accessories I think are really nice. So you can see he's got a little holster here on the side of his leg, and this is kind of an independent piece, so you can move this around. You might even be able to take it completely off if you wanted to. I'm not going to try to do that. But it's just kind of loose, and it's just kind of held on by friction there. But you can see that that holds a little sidearm, which is painted pretty nicely. Here, I'll see if I can zoom in on this a bit here. I mean, it's not painted a lot. It's just kind of a gunmetal gray with a little bit of kind of coppery paint on top. But it looks good. I like it. And of course, you can pop it right here in the holster. Fits perfectly. Then he's got this rifle, which I think looks really cool. I'm wondering if they're going for, like laser rifles, obviously, like the original show. I don't think they're meant to look like realistic weapons. And I know with this size class, you could almost assume they're going to go towards like more realistic looking weapons. But I think it's smart to stick with, the laser theme, because obviously that's classic Joe, especially from the 80s, which I think most of us collectors are what we're most familiar with, I should say. So you can see how it's got kind of like the light blue paint in there, like it's about to fire off the blue lasers. Although I have to remember, like, I always thought G.I. Joe was kind of the opposite of, say, like Star Wars, where Darth Vader's lightsaber is red, Luke's is blue. I think with Joe, the good guy's lasers were red, the Joe's lasers were red, and Cobra's lasers were blue. But maybe they're switching that to get back to kind of a more uniform, like science fiction nerd culture aesthetic as far as color palettes and which one denotes heroes and villains. I don't know. I'm just making this stuff up as I go. But in any case, it's a really cool rifle. I like it. Really nice paint. Fits in his hand well. He's got a trigger figure, so fits in there perfect. I think that looks really sharp. The belt is loose. As you can see, it's just a loose piece of plastic that sits around, which annoys me a little bit just because I feel like it's always moving. But you can see he's got, I think these are binoculars here, and they clip on right there, little peg hole. And let me zoom in a little bit on these. I believe they're supposed to be binoculars. I think he looks through this side, and then you've got the lenses here. I think that's what they're supposed to be. I just appreciate the fact that they peg onto the belt, and you can kind of hold them up to the eyes. So not bad there. But I mean, they peg on really nicely, snugly. Let me get this on here. There we go. And it stays on there. I mean, that's not falling off at all. You can see he's got this backpack, which has a little shovel. You can't take the shovel out. That's just part of it. At least I'm pretty sure you can't. Now I'm second guessing it. No, that's molded in there. It's just painted. So can't remove the shovel, but you can see he's got like a canteen and some other provisions, which is pretty cool. And that just pegs in the back. You do kind of have to move the bandolier a little bit to get it to peg in. And then, but the nice thing is that'll kind of keep the bandolier in place a little bit, because that's also kind of a loose plastic piece like the belt that just kind of flops around a little bit. It's not terrible, but it does flop around a decent amount. But overall, really, really nice looking figure. Articulation is pretty much what you would expect if you're familiar with Star Wars Black Series or Power Rangers Lightning Collection or Marvel Legends. It's pretty much what you would expect. You do have a ball joint here in the neck, but there's also a hinge. So it's kind of a hinge and a ball joint. You have the typical shoulder hinge as well as a swivel, and then you have a butterfly joint inside the shoulder, kind of in the torso there. You have a swivel here in the bicep. You have a double jointed elbow. You have a wrist swivel that also has a hinge. And this one has the hinge at the top. Like you would expect it to be this way, but it's actually up and down this way. And then he's got an orange painted wristwatch, which I thought was really strange. I don't know if that's something from the show or from a comic that I missed. But it just seems really garish and kind of out of place with the rest of his color scheme. He's also got the little bit of red on the gloves and on the shoulders, which is, again, kind of out of touch with the rest of his color scheme, but I don't mind it because it's so minimal. But then it's just like bright orange wristwatch, just kind of a weird choice to me. But it's okay. He's got an ab crunch here. He has a swivel there at the waist. He's got this leg thing, and this threw me for a second because it's those kind of legs where you can kind of pop them up and down a little bit depending on what you need to do. So like if you kick out, they'll pop down, but then you can kind of come down and then push it back in. So beware of that with the hips, but you can kick to the front. It's got kind of a butt skirt, so it doesn't go all the way back, but kick pretty far out to the side, as you can see. You do have, of course, a thigh swivel. You have a double jointed knee, which is appreciated. You also have a boot swivel, and then you have the typical kind of front to back. Now mine, on this ankle at least, is very tight. I don't know why it does not want to rock back and forth that much, but it rocks from side to side very easily. Let's see how this one works. Yeah, this one's fine. So yeah, you can see that one rocks back and forth, no problem. So again, really nice looking figure. I really have to give them credit. I kind of wish he came with a jetpack instead of a just normal backpack, because I feel like, at least in the movie, and I thought the original toy also came with a jetpack, but the backpack's fine. It's a little bit more realistic, I guess, but, you know, Joes, we don't need to be realistic. We're all about laser guns and crazy vehicles, right? So, come on, give us the jetpack. I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually do like an accessory gun pack or something like that, kind of what they're doing for the Transformers. Like do, an exclusive figure and have them come with a whole bunch of crazy accessories like jetpacks, other weapons, whatever they can dream up. I would not be surprised to see something like that in the future. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this off to the side. I like them better without the backpack. But yeah, it's a really solid figure. I really have to tip my hat. They did a really nice job. And I mean, once I can get him in a nice pose, I feel like he stands pretty well. So I'm happy with him. Over here, we got Destro. Another fantastic figure. Love the chrome on the face. Really, really sharp. Really nicely detailed and super shiny. He's got all the same articulation. You can see the heads on the swivel there. He's got the little necklace. It was kind of funny. Mine had the necklace kind of stuck up around his nose in the packaging. That's how it came like this. He can just drop it right back down. But again, he's got all the same articulation. He's got a loose belt too, but because it's kind of connected down here to this thigh strap for the holster for his gun, it doesn't move around nearly as much. So that's nice. He does have a little gold sidearm there. Whoops, as I drop it. So here it is. And that fits very nicely into the holster there, which I appreciate. And then he's got this kind of like futuristic laser gun with a scope, which is pretty cool. And that's nicely detailed and painted on both sides. He's got the wrist rockets that he's known for. Very cool. And otherwise, just a pretty solid figure. I do want to dive into his briefcase here because this is actually a really cool accessory. If I can get that out of his hands. If you'll be kind enough to stand. So you can see here, Cobra symbol painted on the one side, not painted on this side, but it does open. If I can get this open, I promise it opens. And he's got a bunch of cash there on the top. And then on the inside, he's got this like Cobra computer, I guess, so he can contact the home base for whatever he needs to. But I thought that was such a great attention to detail. The little computer inside is awesome. And the cash. Although I gotta be honest, I would have flipped them. I would have the cash on the bottom, and then I would turn this 180 degrees, so you could or however you want to do it. I guess this technically should be the bottom, but the cash should be in the bottom, and this should be on here, so that when he sets this down, he opens it. The screen's up here, and then the cash is down here. So, because wouldn't the cash just fall out? I don't know. That's a weird choice in my opinion. I definitely love the accessory, don't get me wrong. I would just switch these. I feel like if you sit this on the desk or something, a table, and you open it, you're going to want the screen here, the money here. Other than that, it's very cool, and that's a very minor thing to nitpick. I think that's weird. It's a little difficult to get it into his hand, I got to be honest, because the hand is made to kind of hold a gun with the trigger finger. It's not impossible. Let me see if I can get this in here. You kind of just have to get the thumb out of the way. I feel like that's half the battle. G.I. Joe. No, you get it. Anyway, come on. It's really not cooperating. It's funny. You would not think this is difficult at all. And some of you might just be laughing at me, which is fair. There we go. It's just, I think, because the hand is meant to hold the handle of a gun, so the thumb and the trigger finger make it so that it does not want to go in there. But once you get it in there, he holds onto it very tightly. He's not going to drop it or anything like that. So I really, really like both of these figures. Let me go ahead and zoom out so you can actually see both of these figures. But yeah, I don't really have too much to complain about. I got to be honest. I mean, if I had to minor nitpick things, like I said, orange wristwatch, just a strange color, certainly not a deal breaker of any kind. And the inside of the briefcase, like I said, I would switch those two sides. Other than that, I think they're pretty perfect. Great articulation, great paint applications, great accessories. I'm kind of hoping this isn't a situation where the first wave is really great to sucker us in, and then they start removing paint applications and accessories as the line continues. Once we're hooked, I really hope that doesn't continue, or that I should say that doesn't happen. I hope this quality continues, because out the gate, right off the bat, as I'm mixing my metaphors here, they're really nice. I like them quite a bit. I'm really, really happy with both of these. I'll see how Roadblock and Scarlet turn out when they come in. But yeah, like I said, not really much to complain about. I like both of these quite a bit. So I recommend at least grabbing these two. Like I said, I might not go in all in with this line. I always say that. But I'm going to try to just kind of pick and choose. It makes sense. The first couple waves are where they're going to have all the core favorite characters because that's what they want to impress. They would want to start off with random obscure characters no one cares about. So I'll probably end up getting a lot of the initial waves because those are all the really popular characters, and then maybe, start to less and less as time goes on. But for right now, I recommend these two. Really great figures. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see where the line goes. But so far, 2 thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.